This next brand, BeatBox, they kind of encompass everything we've been talking about the past day. High flavor, high ABV, non-malt based, but still going through beer distributors and crushing it in convenience. So let's give it up for the BeatBox founders. We have, yes, thank you. We have BeatBox co-founder and CEO Justin Finchel, BeatBox co-founder and COO Amy Stedman, and BeatBox founder and CMO Brad Schultz.
You got it all right.
Good job.
Yeah. Thank you. All right, so we had a little video there, but let's set the stage with just a recap of 2022, because I know it's another banner year for y'all, and y'all got a lot of exciting stats to share from the past year. So I'll let y'all take it away there.
Yeah, real quick, because 24 hours ago I was at the tail end of a 3-week honeymoon on the other side of the world.
Oh,
and
congrats.
I got here because my motto in life is I do it for Harry. So I got here, and I'm going to have a BeatBox because of that. We're really happy to be here. It's an amazing conference.
Yeah, that makes two of us.
Yeah, well, cheers to that.
Cheers to that. 2022 was beyond, I think, all of our wild expectations. We had huge expectations, and coming into the year, wanted to double the business again. We actually more than doubled to about 2 million cases shipped in 2022, up from about 800,000 in 2021. So it was massive, just over 40 million in revenue. And to give some perspective on that, 4 years ago when we made the decision to switch to the beer networks, we were a $2 million business with 2 beer wholesalers after we got out of wine and spirits. So we've gone from 2 million and 2 distributors and 10 employees to now 250 distributors across almost every state, and almost over 100 full-time employees now. So it's been an unbelievable journey.
More gray hair.
A lot less hair. We got the hat on. But just want to thank all of the beer distributors that have partnered with us. It's been an amazing ride, and we're just getting started. There's a long, long way to go. I think the most important stat for us coming out of 2022 on the sales side was, you can grow your business by launching a lot of new states, getting a big chain program. But for us, it was increase in accounts for sure. Our accounts grew 70%, but our depletions grew 130%. And that's driven by an increase in velocity of nearly 40% per account. So we went from 4 to 4.5 cases per store per month to now 5.5, 6. And so this baseline of business, and nearly 80% of our accounts are ordering every single month. And so this baseline of business is really strong. The consumer's there, and it just means really big things for next year. We think we'll do an equivalent of over 100,000 barrels next year.
Yeah, okay, and striking stats. And I'd like to point out that, yes, you've had the fortune of bringing on some prominent investors like Mark Cuban, but Mark Cuban can't take you into these accounts, and that's the work's on y'all. And so I wanted to hear a little bit about, what the impact is of bringing on somebody like Mark Cuban, but also the grind of being an independent and earning distribution. So
Yeah, I mean, a grind is a good word to use, and a lot of respect for everybody in the room here. There is no formula for what we're trying to do, and it was really humbling to hear Maggie and Benoit both say we have big budgets, we have a lot of money, and you can't just buy your way into this business. You have to earn success, and it's so unique. Mark is a genius. He's incredible. He's built multi-billionaire. But, he didn't know the 3-tier system. And so a lot of the stuff he would come to us with would be like, it's a great idea, Mark, but that's really illegal and we can't do that. So it was, I think the hardest part, it's really hard to grow when you have no money, earlier people spoke about, but not knowing the business. We didn't even know what we didn't know. We barely knew what a distributor was when we started this 10 years ago. And,
we didn't know.
I think the learning curve was so steep to get into to understand alcohol, but we were just so passionate about making it through. And there's a great line, Tito from Tito's Vodka, he met with us really early. Being from Austin, he's just there, he's an icon. And he's like, I love you guys. And the reason is if you knew what you were doing, you would have never started this thing.
Okay, well, and looking back, I also want to talk about convenience, because that's where y'all do a lot of your business. And I'm curious to hear, when you first got into convenience, where'd they want to put you? Because when I think about wine and convenience, I think of a less than desirable spot. It's kind of next to the bungees and the motor oil, and so, where did you start there, and then how have you kind of your placement has shifted over the years?
Yeah, absolutely. So, you can see from the Shark Tank clip, we started with a big 5-liter bag-and-box, and we were with the Wine and Spirits Wholesale Network originally, and our consumer shops in convenience. So that was one of the early lessons that we didn't know early on that we got. And so we switched to the single serve and then got our first taste of convenience in that sort of dusty, cold wine door that you mentioned with the land of misfit toys over there.
Right.
And, over time, that door became a premium real estate in the store. We've got all kinds of RTDs in there, but we brought high velocity to that door because that door had a high profit margin with those wine and spirits products, but they didn't have that velocity, and that's what BeatBox brought. And with our switch to the beer networks, we were able to service that channel, which is where our consumers shops, right? So it was kind of a perfect fit there. And we got our foot in the door with one SKU, 2 SKUs at a time, and now that we've really proven ourselves with rate of sale, increasing rate of sale, we're getting more footprint in that door, and in other places in the cold box, we know it's a premium spot to be in, but we think we've earned it with high profit to our wholesalers and retailers, and with our high rate of sale, and getting more SKUs in that door, and getting that banner effect as well, which is only increasing that rate of sale.
We like to say we're beer velocities with wine margins, which is a good place to be for our wholesaler partners and retail partners.
For sure. But it is a point of emphasis, that channel is, for pretty much everybody in BevAlc now. I mean, even craft brewers, it's all about 19.2s. And so what have you seen kind of shift? Like, is it still easy for you to, I don't want to say easy, can you still, bring as much innovation as you want, as you have in years past, or is it getting pretty challenging lately?
There's definitely tons of, new entrants to the market and things like that, but like I said, I think we've kind of proven why we deserve to be there and continue to prove that.
And I think it's always thinking about what are the obstacles, right? What are the challenges of that buyer, of that convenience store? And so early on when we got to the beer networks, the issue was, there's not enough space. I don't have enough space. Well, we created this really, easy shipper that was 8.5 by 11, took up a sheet of paper, and was turning $240 in revenue every month for a retailer. And so a lot of GP on that. So finding solutions, and then at the end of the day, you got to have the velocities because there's 1,000 other SKUs that are coming, and if you don't, it's Malibu beachfront property, right, in that real estate, and if you don't sell enough, you gotta earn that every day. And so, fortunately, with everything Brad and the marketing team have done, our velocities continue to grow, and so retailers say, hey, I've got 2 SKUs, I want 4. I've got 4, I want 6. And I think also the word RTDs have been around a long time. We were drinking FMBs. That's why we started this company. We were saying, why has no one made a Four Loko meets Bud Light Limerita in a Franzia bag, right? Like,
this was back in 2011.
In 2011, 2012, box wine was awesome, but there was no flavors. We wanted something cool and different. And so RTDs have been around, but now the education is getting there, and there's still a long way to go as far as retailer adoption of understanding. It's not just beer, it's not just wine, it's not just spirits, but I think those walls are slowly breaking down.
Yeah. Well, speaking of convenience and pricing, it seems like IRI scans show that pricing's gone a little bit further up in convenience than it has in food. How much more wiggle room do you see in that channel next year, and how are y'all kind of navigating the pricing environment?
Yeah, I think for price, right, so we're fortunate. We're not in glass bottles, we're not in cans. We've seen a lot of price pressures, don't get me wrong. We've been able to offset a number of them. For us, I can speak for us, we feel we're in the sweet spot. I think consumers now this year are going to be doing a lot more what the OGs called the stupid beer math. We call it the party math. So we try and make it a little more fun. But it's basically, what am I getting for what I'm spending? And whereas before, then consumers might have gone in and said, I'm going to grab something new and try it. Now it's going to be picking it up. What am I actually getting for this $3, $4, $5 bill I'm spending. And so for us, we feel we're in the sweet spot at this. We're $3.99. Most convenience store channel is going to be 2 for $7, grocery 3 for $10. We don't want to deviate from that, and so we haven't taken any price. We're not going to take any price. We're in this hyper growth mode where we're continuously acquiring new customers, and we want to continue to do that. So if some of the competitors in the 24-ounce single serves are going up from $2.99 to now $3.49, $3.99, that just makes the decision even easier to try something that is a little more premium, is got a neutral wine base and isn't malt. So we think there's a lot of opportunities to hold price. Now, if we see pressures to the point where we can't maintain the margins we need to maintain, then we'll have to look at it. But we think we can offset all of it. So we're not going to.
My operations team is on it.
Amy and her team are absolutely outstanding. It's unbelievable what we've been able to do from a offsetting cost.
Okay. Well, let's look ahead to next year. And y'all recently closed a funding round this fall to take BeatBox to a $200 million post-money valuation. And Justin, you told us y'all would use that latest investment to double your headcount, triple your marketing budget. So how big will your workforce be, and what can we expect from the increased marketing support?
Yeah, well, I'll let Brad and Amy speak to the marketing and ops side, but from it was incredible to be able to raise that round, and we raised about $15 million, which was, we've only raised 30 million in our entire existence, so half of it came in the last few months. It takes a long time to get to a point where you are not kind of having to test things out anymore, as far as, do we have the right product size? Do we have the right distribution network? Do we have the right team? Do we have the right marketing mix and supply chain? So all of this money is going to add more fuel to the fire, right? So headcount, we've hired 40 people in the last 6 months, and we'll hire another 20 to 30 over the next 6 to 12. And so, you got to have people, feet on the street, people calling on chains. You got to outkick your coverage and share mine at the wholesalers. And so all of it's going there. And then marketing, our marketing budget, you hear, Heineken Silver with $100 million. It's more than, our entire existence of revenue. But we've got to spend smartly, and tripling is big for us. We've never really had a budget as far as marketing. So that's where it's going to there. I'll let, if you want to talk about operations capacity, Amy, and all that stuff.
Yeah, well, on the operations side, I'm trying to keep up with the growth that these two are providing me, which is awesome, and we're trying to build capacity in North America and also international to get to 10 million cases for BeatBox, so that involves just investing on that side.
We had a slide with some pictures there we go. So I think Justin said we learned the hard way. We didn't want to over innovate and launch too many things, and it's really that share of mind piece is really valuable. So I want to be super, super focused with what we bring to market. You can see some pictures though of what, I know you guys love an exclusive here. This has never been announced yet, any of this. So breaking news right now. This is all we're bringing to the market, and it's really exciting actually. When you saw in Shark Tank, we had a sweet tea, Texas tea flavor. We're going to be bringing that back out the start of this year. So that is the first look at our BeatBox Hard Tea that just debuted at a music festival over New Year's, where people were sampling that. So
It'll
really
be a
awesome.
Party, get it?
Yeah. I like that.
All right, we'll drop
the middle, you
This
see.
is why I don't do marketing.
And then we're also, the return of the BeatBox Bag-in-Box is coming. So that right there, you talk about value, you talk about bang for your buck. That's 3 liters of booze right there. Perfect for a party. We're bringing that back, and it's kind of like the McRib with McDonald's, where once it was off the menu, people are like, oh my God, freaking out. Where can I get this? So this is going to be a real limited summertime run of a nice giant-sized BeatBox. And then hopefully, I think even Harry would know this person at the end, which, is saying a lot. But, during 2020, for those of you that were following us, we did an amazing collaboration with the TikTok cranberry juice drinking Fleetwood Mac star, Dogface. Everyone saw that video go viral. So did a brand new flavor with him and brought that to market. It was so much fun. We said, how could we top that? And so Avril Lavigne, who is coming on the 20-year anniversary of her hit album, we are doing an exclusive flavor with her, our pink lemonade, bringing it to market. She, incredible, just global. I think she's got 100 million fans or followers worldwide. She tours worldwide. So bringing this to market, super, super fun. And that's it,
Yeah, Harry's playing it cool over there, but he's a big Avril Lavigne fan.
And here,
if I had $1 for every time
Harry's
he
a
sang
Skater Boy?
Skater Boy, yeah, I'd be retired
Oh, yeah.
by now. So. Okay, well, let's talk a little more about marketing because y'all have been at this for over a decade now. How has your target consumer changed over that span? You know, I know your consumers are mostly younger. What have you learned about BeatBox drinkers as they've gotten older? And how's it resonating with newer LDAs?
Yeah, I think as the marketing guy, I can speak a little bit, but we've all had to learn this. But yeah, that's something that we've just been obsessed with is the consumer. And it started from being in our mid-20s and being the core consumer ourselves, bringing a product to market. So we just kind of intuitively made these decisions, like moving to Snapchat before that was a thing, and then moving when everyone's moving away from Snapchat, being on TikTok and back to Instagram, and all these small minor decisions that really helped us connect with our consumer, which is what we're obsessed with doing. And you know, I think the thing that we've learned is that while it started as this kind of core partier, you think younger, and we always want to recruit the next generation of drinkers, always want to have that unlocked, but we didn't realize how broad this category really is. And if you look at the sales data, you look at the Nielsen data, it's not coming from any one small demographic. It's everybody's drinking this across the board.
Everyone's drinking RTDs.
Yeah, and there's a lot of reasons why you might switch over from other categories or you know, other products that are out there into this, and I can make the case for a lot of different products there. But yeah, I think, you know, it's just been, what's been remarkable is just how big we really think this is and how big this category is. So.
If you have questions for the BeatBox crew, write them down and somebody will come around and pick them up. But let's move on to competition. You know, we're starting to see some companies take direct aim at y'all. E&J, Gallo, they have Vendage, am I saying that right?
Vibes.
Probably does, yeah, Vibe line. And I want to get to that, but I also want to ask just who y'all's biggest competition has been over the years.
Yeah, we always say we're the leaders of the party punch category, but we were the only ones in the party punch category too. So we don't have like a ton of direct competitors. But,
Yeah.
you know, we think about it as occasions. What's that party high ABV occasion? So, you know, homemade punch is how we started. You know, made with spirits, and then you've got your boxed wine folks out there, that convenience packaging, and then of course there's the higher ABV flavored malt beverages as well. That, you know, we're also playing in that area.
But with this direct sort of copycat competition, has that changed anything for y'all? Is it going to change anything for y'all?
I mean, we're a community-driven brand, right? And this isn't our first year. We've been doing this, authentically building this brand for 10 years. And we're all about our community. And you can't replace the 5,000 people every day that are coming to our store locator looking for this product. Like, that's not something you can go out and buy, to what people said on the stage earlier. So we feel pretty confident about that. We're also about 10 years ahead on the operations side. So it tastes better than anything else that's coming out, because I've been working, you know, my team's been working on this formula for 10 years to get it to be just as delicious as possible, which hopefully some of y'all tried at the reception last night and can see how delicious it tastes. And then also we've been working on the supply chain for 10 years and making sure that everybody's making money with this product, which is very important to getting distribution and having retailers be motivated to put it out there. So I think we're wildly ahead of those folks that are just coming out now.
And we're sold by the beer distributors.
That's right.
Like Gallo is. And I think that's, you know, but it's to be noted, like the wine and spirits world is coming for that door that we've built.
It's
and,
a battle zone.
It's on all of us to continue to get that space, because they're not stopping, right? They see that velocity. But we think it's really cool, like, to be able to say, we've created a category in beverage alcohol. Like, that's so fucking awesome to be able to say.
Yeah, if you would have asked us like 5 years ago, that was our nightmare scenario. Like, we were afraid of that coming, and we'd always say, what if these big people just come in, they can buy, you know? And I, to be honest, when we saw some of the iterations, people using BeatBox on slides to pitch their product, it's like, that just fired us up so much more. It's like, it means that we're doing something right. And so I think
yeah, we know we're going to win in the same stores.
Good. And then I wanted to talk a little bit about portfolio. BeatBox has had sibling brands like Brizzy and Corkless. You know, what did you learn from those offshoots?
You're giving me flashbacks.
What did you learn from those offshoots? And is there any desire to expand into any other BevAlc avenues?
So I think that was some hard lessons learned, right? We had this idea of like BeatBox was this cool, innovative product for the beer networks. In 2018, we were like, seltzer we think is going to be big. Let's give the beer networks a seltzer. Let's get canned wine. Like that was going to be big. So we launched Brizzy as our seltzer and Corkless as our canned wine, and it looks amazing on paper. We actually like fundraised on that. And then you get into the market and you're like, wait a minute, now we have 3 supply chains, right? We've got our Tetra Pak canned wine, canned seltzer. We've got our huge, $1 million marketing budget that is now split amongst 3 brands. And you're, fighting for share of mind at wholesalers, and now you're coming to them with, hey, we want you to sell this, this, and this. It was a total disaster. And so then BeatBox, through the pandemic started to really kind of accelerate, and we said, what the heck are we doing with these other brands? Let's focus all of our efforts on our hero product, BeatBox. And so at this point, you're going to see the things like some flavor innovation and more collaborations like Dogface and Avril Lavigne and some stuff like the Bag-in-Box, but it's going to be all under BeatBox. We're still only in 10% of the wine license accounts in the US. And then you have the whole international opportunity beyond that. So until we're even close to full penetration, or what we think of as full penetration in the US, there's really not a whole lot of reason to deviate beyond the BeatBox brand.
Okay, I'm going to try to read this audience question. Please discuss how you try to build awareness and twice trial as you move into new markets.
Drive trial?
Yeah.
Drive trial. Yeah, there we go. It does not look like drive, but
I like that. Maybe they had a beatbox before that, but I think from the start we always said like if this thing's going to grow, it's not going to be from like a commercial that we run or a billboard that we were able to buy, and it's like you think this like if this thing's going to grow, it's going to grow from word of mouth. So we're just obsessed with what is going to get people sharing this, talking about this, telling their friends. That's how you pick up new products. You don't see a TV commercial now and just go and say, I want that, or I want to go buy it now. It's
they don't want us saying we're cool. We want to hear it from their friends. Hey,
right.
You should try this.
Exactly. So for us, it's about creating that kind of environment where it's your friends telling you this. It's word of mouth driven. And so for us, it's finding the most important places that this brand needs to be, where those people that will discover it and talk about it will pick it up. And yes, like someone said it earlier about focusing on getting driving trial. I see so much marketing. We see so much marketing where the person never tries the product. And so for us, it's like, especially with a limited budget, we emphasize, in-person events, real grassroots stuff, music festivals and parties and big events. So where you can get massive people trying it, talking about it, and if it's good, they'll buy it and look for it.
And then just last question, what are the headwinds and tailwinds you kind of foresee in this new year?
One of the big headwinds we've faced is that we are a wine product sold by beer distributors, right? And so it's amazing for so many things, but it has its challenges because, as I talked about earlier, you've got these buyers that are either beer or they're wine or they're spirits. And so we're typically dealing with the wine buyers at these bigger chains. And so if you look at our numbers last year, we're in about 18 to 20% of the independents in the US. They were 65% of our volume. So only 30 to 40% is coming from chain. I know Mark's in the audience. We've got a lot of work to do in chain, and it's happening day by day. But part of the challenge is that you're talking to these wine buyers, and they don't want to deal oftentimes with these beer distributors. Well, they're going to have to. Look at Sazerac. They're moving to the beer networks. If you don't want to talk to beer distributors as a wine and spirits buyer, you are going to fail over the next 5 years. And so, fortunately, we're seeing that change. We're seeing a lot more talk about RTD buyers, and a lot of chains are moving to this RTD category buyer, which is going to help us break down some of these doors. But it's tough, man. Like, we're not in, yet, not in the Walmarts, the Targets, the Publix, the CVS. We're not in any of those accounts yet. And we sell like crazy in the grocery stores and in those channels. So that's a big challenge for us, is this kind of new category in a beer network, I would say. So it's on all of us to educate buyers and move us to the different categories of buyers, because the wine and spirits folks, they're in their ear every day telling them to take other brands other than us, because we're taking share from them.
Yeah, I mean, on my end, we've seen costs go up significantly, but I think because we have such rapid growth and an awesome team, we've been able to counter that, but it's going to continue to be a challenge as we go, and so far we've been able to hold steady, so we appreciate that. But
Yeah, I think too, just operationally and speaking, just Justin mentioned, we were a 40-person team less than 7 months ago. We've now over 100 people. So just, general business and just integrating that team, maintaining the values that we created and the culture that we've got, and not feeling that kind of pressure to conform to something we're not. And just, we've got such an amazing leadership team now. So it's not just the three of us making these decisions. We've got a really solid group, but how do we extend that to the next wave of leaders?
Yeah, how do you maintain the company culture that got so many people from these big companies and small companies and everything in between, this amazing talent pool that's wanted to come work here? How do you keep that as you get out of this kind of small, because we have big aspirations. I mean, we want to be a top 5, brand in the next 3 to 5 years. Just say we want to be over 300 million in revenue in the next 3 to 4 years. So we got big aspirations, and how do you maintain the culture and the values while you're scaling in that hyper?
We came to this industry, just to build full circle, we came to this industry because we love parties, we love music festivals, we love, just like all of us here, we love this industry, and so we don't want to take the fun out of it.
Yeah,
That's the only thing that matters.
It's so fun to hear, we hear it from a lot of our wholesalers that are like, what is amazing about y'all is that you're bringing fun back to the beer industry, right? It's like, it's gotten robotic and it's gotten tough and beer's declining, but your company and your people, and it's not us, it's our team, right? You're bringing this fun back to the industry, and if we can continue to do that and excite our wholesalers, excite our retailers, excite our consumers, then there's no stopping us. So
That's a great note to end on. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Let's give it up for the BeatBox crew.
Cheers, y'all.
cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.